5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The switch is on. Welcome to Good Morning Georgetown with Rob and Ken. Waking you up in the mornings and getting your day started with the hottest hits, news, and jokes. Get ready. And now here's your hosts, Rob Hipp and Ken Covington.
Well, a pleasant, good, and happy Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us on 106.7 FM Radio Georgetown. I'm Rob Hipp alongside Ken Covington, and welcome to your show, Good Morning Georgetown. Ken, good to be here on a Wednesday morning at Boeing 747 a.m.
I think the same thing. When I see 747, I think of the airplane, the jet.
You know that.
That's funny.
Industry, in a way. So,
yeah.
You used to fly.
And there's another number who I think of a certain person when I see the number 74.
Who is that?
Bob Lilly.
Bob Lilly. That's right.
Yeah.
He moved from Georgetown.
He did. He moved. I guess his kids live up in Dallas area, so he moved back up there. I know the guy who painted his house.
Mm-hmm.
He's a musician. He painted his house before he moved back up to Dallas, and
we lost a good resident here, but we were honored to have him for a while. And excited. Well, Ken, it's a good morning here. You know, starting a little bit late here, 7:47 this morning on Radio Georgetown. And we appreciate everybody out there joining us. A special shout-out, as always, this show presented by the Oak Ridge Disciple House. Joshua Harris, thank you, a 501c3 nonprofit, faith-based Christian character building ministry that helps men 18 or older who are suffering from drug and alcohol abuse addiction. For more information, you can visit them online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. And also the show made possible in part by Ricky Poe with Georgetown Jewelry, located in the Williamsburg Village Shopping Center. Ken, you know, it was another morning where I came in and there was nothing but just this glaze of moisture on the windshield. And in the mornings, because it's been so humid, I cannot get that off of my windshield, man. I had to literally stick my head out the window for half the drive.
I actually got an old T-shirt that was in my van and wiped off the window. That still didn't help. But here's I thought about it since you said that, and here's what's going on. Today's forecast, ladies and gentlemen. Your Wednesday, September 26th forecast. There's a cool front pressing our way. It's going to be coming through around noon, 1 o'clock.
Really?
But what happens before that cold front hits, you get the most humidity. I mean, it's sucking moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico more than ever whenever a cool front's coming in. So that's what's going on. We're getting a lot of humidity. Once that cool front passes through, usually the humidity drops off quite a bit. So when you go home tonight or whatever, you don't have to worry about it. But anyway, a cool front's coming through around noon, 1 o'clock. We can expect some scattered showers. Wind's going to be out of west-southwest, about 10 to 20 miles per hour. And then coming out of the north this afternoon, we'll be coming out of the north about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So we're going to feel a little cool air blowing in this afternoon.
What's the temperature?
Our first one, high of 82. Of course,
but then after the front.
Yeah, well, it's high. It's not. They were saying a high of 75. Remember that? Last week I was talking about that.
I didn't pay attention.
The cool front's not. It's kind of wimping out on us, but at least we're gonna. But tomorrow morning, guess what? A low of 61.
Wow, that'll be nice.
So get your heavy coats on. No, it's just high. It's gonna be a low of 61 as you wake up tomorrow morning. So it's gonna be nice tomorrow morning. So I think it's gonna be in the 70s tomorrow. So.
Yeah, it's definitely fall is in the air. You know, we just had the first day of fall this past Saturday, and it was a nice day for Southwestern football. Although the team struggled and lost that game, a very competitive team came here from Louisiana College. The Wildcats came into town, and a very tough and competitive school there in Louisiana College. And what I was getting at is, it rained so much, and that kind of moves us into the segue.
At the game it rained?
No, it didn't. That's what I was going to say. It rained so much all day.
Oh, I got you.
It rained so much all day that we ended up having no rain at the Southwestern game, which is really nice. But, yeah, Ken, there was a lot of folks out there, some areas of Williamson County picking up almost 10 inches of rain to our southeast. Mm-hmm. There's a really awesome service called Coco Ross. Coco Ross. Just remember, it's not Coco Puffs. It's Coco Ross. If you want to put a little Espanol on it, roll your R. Coco Ross. Coco. Just remember, Coco Ross.
I've never been able to roll my tongue like that.
It's actually a volunteer service that folks do, the Coco Ross, and I may be saying that wrong. It's Coco Ross. I was looking at it here. Mm. It's the Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network. Man, think about that if that was on the radio. Welcome to the Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network, Coco Ross. Because every drop counts. And what it is, Ken, it's a nationwide program sponsored, I believe, by NOAA or the National Weather Service, one of them. I think it's NOAA. And anyways, you can get an official Coco Ross. It's not really I just like to make it sound that way. You can get an official what do you call it? A rain gauge. Man, brain is every day my brain
I'm
loses
having trouble waking up this morning. I hope there's other people out there like that.
So the Coco Ross, you can get an official rain gauge, and every day you're supposed to report how much rain is in that gauge. And believe it or not, there is so many folks that participate in this. I mean, thousands and thousands of people that participate in this. And I'll pull it up a little bit later. I'm looking at it right now for, today, of course, there's nothing on it. But this is pretty cool, Ken. See, each one of these dots is a representation of rainfall. Yeah. And, of course, the thing is, not many people really report the rain unless it's actually raining.
Wow, nationwide. Huh?
Yeah. So it's pretty neat. And you can see in some areas, when did we have that big rain? Was that this weekend?
Yes, Saturday morning. I went across the bridge at the San Gabriel River. At the San Gabriel Park. I've never seen the water that high.
So that was on the 22nd.
I mean, people were parked on the new bridge. The new bridge on the east side. I guess it's the east side of the park. The new bridge that crosses over. They replaced the walking bridge. There was people parked on the side looking over at the water.
Wow.
I mean, I took a picture of it, and it looked like the water was right up to my van, where the road is over there by where the animal shelter and all that is.
Uh-huh.
Yep. The water was up to the road there. Not on the road, but almost. But the road that goes through San Gabriel Park was covered with water. It was covered with water.
I was trying to look it up, and of course, you know how IT is. Good old laptop not working this morning. Anyways, man, yeah, it was pretty neat. It made the front cover of the Sun, the newspaper. I'm sitting here looking at it. Mm-hmm. Charlotte and Brad Stutzman had a really good article there on the front page of the local newspaper here talking about that. There's a picture of a little girl here hanging over the railing looking. And, the sad thing is, Ken, some people may think, oh, that's kind of – I don't think it's funny. And luckily, I didn't see too many people making jokes about it because I don't think it's funny at all. But there was a poor cow that was, or a bull that was floating down that, and that's just rough, man.
Yeah, it is.
And I hope the gentleman, I saw it on the Georgetown Facebook groups. I hope that the gentleman who lost, I hope they were able to recover that poor animal. That's pretty sad, man. But yeah, anyways, that river flooded. Of course, all the renovations going on down in the park. Areas, as I said earlier, they're saying here in the paper 7 to 9 inches of rain, and that's about right. Some areas even closer to 10, and that's from the Coco Ross. If you want to check it out, for the folks out there listening saying, what are you keep talking about this Cocoa Puffs? Well, it's not Cocoa Puffs. It's Coco Ross, COCORAHS. It's COCORAHS.org. It's a collaboration of NOAA reporting rainfall, hail, and snow, things like that. I really encourage you to go check it out because you can get a pretty good estimate of rainfall from actual people who measure it.
Right.
So, not to always one up on anything, but this isn't the highest that river's ever been.
No.
It's pretty neat to see that. My grandmother, every time we drive down Austin Avenue, you look over to the right to the apartment buildings that were built there and the offices and all that, where the San Gabriel Motor Court. I was a modal court where San Gabriel Motor Court used to be. My grandmother, every time we drop by that, she looks over to the right and she just says, I cannot believe they built all this stuff here.
Yeah.
And the reason she says that is she was born and raised here in this area.
Yeah.
And in the 50s, that water got over those bridges.
Yeah.
And of course, those bridges, it was a different bridge, but it was still the same height. Water got over those bridges back in the 50s. This was before we had Lake Georgetown, and back then there was 5 crossings in Georgetown.
Yeah.
Now I can only name a few: Boxes Crossing, Booties Crossing, and that's about it.
Yeah.
There's 3 other ones. So maybe some of the radio listeners out there will know those answers. I'll tell you what, if you're a Georgetonian, and you know, that's a little trivia this morning. If you know all 5 of the original crossings names before Lake Georgetown was built by the Army Corps of Engineers, send that in to us. Text it to us. Don't text and drive, but text it to 512-522-9105. Again, that's our text line, 512-522-9105. Or send it to us, those of you out there that are on our Facebook live stream, because I only know 2 of them, Boxes Crossing and Booties Crossing. That's where Booties Road comes. When we were a kid, we were Booties Road. We used to laugh about that, man. But anyways, yeah. So
Rice's Crossing is out east of here.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So See, I would have said Rice's.
That doesn't count.
That isn't right. Do you know any of them, Ken?
I don't.
Did you know about them?
I knew about Booties Crossing and
Booty.
What's the other one?
Booties and
Booties.
I'm already forgetting what they are. Boxes Crossing.
Oh, Boxes. Okay, yeah. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, BOX. My late great aunt, her name was Shirley Box Caluette. Wonderful, wonderful lady. She passed away several years ago, but one of those was named after her family.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
I was driving through San Gabriel Park Monday morning, and they were tearing down some structure. I don't know if it was because of the water or just because they're renovating.
Phase 2.
Okay.
And so a lot of folks, and I think they're going to build bigger and better facilities there, but it's still a little heartbreaking from growing up here. And the reason I say that is because the Grape Arbor is no more. The beautiful, and it needed work. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. So hopefully they build it back in a way that still has that same, integrity and the look of it and everything like that. But the original Grape Arbor, which, by the way,
is that what were there? All the branches were over. Yeah,
it's gone.
Oh,
it's gone. And a lot of people took to social media about that. They were pretty upset about it. But I haven't seen the full plan for Phase 2. But I'm hoping that they rebuild a similar structure and still allow the grapevine. That's just a. That to me, growing up here, and you talk to so many other people, and even new folks, that's been a trademark of San Gabriel Park, along with the springs. That arbor has hosted countless events, family reunion. We had numerous family reunions there. Yeah. I got baptized under in the springs, and then we had the reception under there.
Yeah.
And so it's something that just is very connected and brings a lot of memories to a lot of good people here in Georgetown.
Right.
So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens, Ken. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, going back to that flooding, a lot of awesome videos. That's one cool thing about social media. It's a lot of really cool photos and videos and stuff like that came in. Rudy Jimenez was down there taking pictures. Some people got their drones up in the air, Ken. Did you see any of the aerial footage?
I didn't.
Pretty cool stuff, man. So, yeah, the last time I saw the river like that I can remember – and it may have been one other time since then, but it was back in 2010 when Hermine came through.
Yeah.
And it was pretty rough. I mean
this was just a lot of rains. What's weird, I was really surprised Saturday morning crossing over the river. I didn't realize it rained that much, but, man, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, and I think what happened is to our west, because anything that comes down from the Highland area rolls through the river. So the fact that there was 7 to 9 inches in Hutto does nothing for that river rising in our area.
Yeah.
It could rain 20 inches in Hutto, and San Gabriel's going to trickle here.
Exactly.
But it was all that area at the Highlands that got so much rainfall.
So they let out more water out of the Lake Georgetown, I guess, or I don't know.
No, it all flows into Lake Georgetown.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But Lake Georgetown, did they open up more gates on our dam?
It's a good question. I have no idea. It's a question for the Army Corps of Engineers.
Yeah.
That's a question for Mike. So, anyways, we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
So, yeah, Ken, beautiful day here. Time now 8:01 a.m. on 106.7 FM KGTN-LP Georgetown. Thanks for joining us here for Good Morning Georgetown on Radio Georgetown.
Radio Georgetown.
I noticed a new logo, so we're going to call it as it is. We'll have to get some new banners up in here, but it is now Radio Georgetown, Ken. So
we are on the radio.
Radio.
FM 106.7 FM LP.
Yeah, everything has to. Your R's, you have to roll every R this morning. Radio.
Forget it.
Wait. There's not an R and forget it. Yeah, there is. Forget it.
There you go.
See, everything, kid.
I can't do that.
Everything.
I have tried to roll my R's, and it's just I can't do it.
I was waiting. We don't have any messages coming in yet on those crossings, so I'm gonna ask once again if you happen to know the name of those 5 crossings originally in Georgetown. As Miss Rhonda makes her way in here today. Rhonda's so wonderful. She's next door. We had Lisa next door.
That's
from
right.
DGA, and Rhonda's always here. We appreciate Rhonda.
And we're gonna have Rhonda. You're gonna be our guest, right?
She's handed that over to Lisa.
She can answer some questions that we have.
So yeah, if you know the names of those 5 crossings, we will gladly have you talk about those. So if you're out there listening, again, the name of the 5 crossings, let us know. Text us at 512-522-9105. Again, that number, 512-522-9105, the name of the original 5 crossings here in Georgetown.
Amen.
So, anyways, Ken, it's a good morning. We got a little bit of this day in history.
A little bit. I was looking at all this last night. I mean, I spent a good amount of time, and it was just kind of boring. It's like, gosh, really? I mean, the Astros are in first place, which is good. I mean, they keep winning. I mean, it's like every time I get this little baseball at the top of my phone, and it gives me the baseball. It gives me the score update like per every 10 minutes. It's kind of cool.
Does it give you a little dun-dun-dun, a little Sports Center
just a
sound?
Baseball? Yeah, just a little bit. But anyway, they keep winning. I mean, it's like I think they've won every game except for just one, like in the last 2 weeks. But I sound like a redneck there. But anyway, yeah, I was looking at this day in history stuff. It's like just kind of, I don't know. FDR urges repeal of something another act. It's like boring stuff, really. But anyway,
watch that be like the most important thing ever.
Oh gosh,
now, whatever.
But
blah,
I did come up with a few things here. Here's one. Billy the Kid arrested. Now, I didn't even write this down, but Billy the Kid in 1875 was arrested for the first time for stealing a basket of laundry. Oh, that's funny.
That's pretty hardcore.
That is pretty bad. Oh gosh, I just saw that.
Who did he steal the laundry from?
He later broke out. Okay, in 1875, Billy the Kid arrested for the first time stealing a basket of laundry. He later broke out of jail and roamed to the America West, eventually earning the reputation as an outlaw and murderer.
Oh my goodness.
And allegedly included 21 murders. Oh, my goodness.
Billy the Kid, 21.
Yeah,
my goodness.
I guess that is kind of interesting.
Man. Hey.
The exact details of Billy the Kid's birth is unknown. Other than his name is William Henry McCarty.
That's pretty crazy stuff.
He was probably born in 1859, which is 100 years before I was born. Poof! Man, I'll be 59 in December. I'm not gonna say what day. I just want everybody to bring presents. 59. One more year to the big 60 is just unreal. I never thought of it. Well, I haven't made it yet. We'll see what happens. But
so, Ken, I was looking here. It looks like a lot of that rainfall. I didn't want to cut you off. Just pulling this up here. A lot of that rainfall back on the 22nd. is when a lot of it. And again, it's not a range. This is 24-hour total rainfall. My goodness, looking here at Coco Ras, up in Fannin County. And whenever there's multiple dots of the same color that it's not, if you're out here in the middle of nowhere and all of a sudden there's a red dot, that's probably somebody put in the wrong number.
Yeah.
But when you've got red dots all around each other, we're talking up in Fannin County, which is one of the counties along the Red River on the north border, of course, southern border of Oklahoma, over 9.5 to 10.5 inches and higher of rain. Can you believe that? And if you come right back here at home, that's the one that I was talking about in Hutto, 9.88 inches.
Wow.
Now, if you go back and look to our west, there were some areas to the west. I don't know what town that would be. That's way south of Florence. That's like you're heading down 29 right before you get to, that may be in the Liberty Hill area. 6.38 inches of rain to our west. This was on the 22nd. Mm-hmm. And then if you continue to go back, that's where the big flooding happened.
Yeah.
And if you'll look right around Bertram and Burnett area, just east of Burnett. So Burnett only getting half an inch, a quarter of an inch. And this just goes to show you how flash floods can happen.
Yeah.
I always think it's funny how we're, flash flooding in Texas. Yeah, we do. We're not, but that happens everywhere.
It does.
I think us folks from Texas like to think everything big happens here. Newsflash happens. Newsflash, we've had like 5 tornadoes this year. By this time last year, we had 70.
Yeah. Well,
so thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
But here's the newsflash for you. Burnett, a quarter of an inch, half of an inch. You go just about 5 miles to the east. Bam, 5, 6, 7 inches of rain right along 29 and the San Gabriel River. That, friends, is where that's where your big river run comes from. And really, if you go back, there's not a whole lot that happened outside of that.
Mm-mm.
Years and years ago, I don't know if you remember when this happened, but there was almost 20 inches of rain that fell just inside of Marble Falls.
Yeah.
20
I remember
inches.
that.
And when it happened, all of that water rushed down the San Gabriel River.
Yeah.
And it flooded Lake Georgetown. And I'm talking about a lake that was under a deep flood for almost a month.
Yeah.
Maybe longer. Because that water really had nowhere to drain. Mm-hmm. Everything was underwater. I took out my little plastic pontoon boat with my cousin. This was in the day and the age before GPS was on your phones.
Right.
And I had a little handheld GPS. The battery in that thing died. And even though I'd been all over Tejas Park my entire life, I had no idea where in the world Waldo was.
Yeah.
No idea where we were at.
Yeah.
Referring to us as Waldo.
Okay.
And we got lost out there in that boat, and it started getting dark, and the water was so high that you think about the trees.
Yeah.
We were in the tops of the trees in that boat,
right.
in that little plastic pontoon boat. We dropped an anchor. I had an anchor on that thing. We dropped an anchor that had a measuring tape. That thing went down almost 30 feet. Talking about a lake that was 30 feet above flood. Up in the tops of the trees. I'm going to give you one guess at this. What do you think happens in the tops of the trees when the water floods like that? I'll give you a guess. What do you think happens when the water floods? What happens in the tops of the trees?
Animals go up there.
Animals,
birds,
everything from the ground level. What hangs out on the ground? Spiders.
Oh, yeah.
And we're talking what spiders like to build those nasty, clogged up webs that are very scary. Black widows, brown recluses.
Right.
We're in that boat, Ken. We go through countless spider nests. I'm not talking like a little web with little Charlotte's Web and the pigs come out and talk and all that. No, man, I'm talking spiders start crawling all over us. The sun is going down. My GPS loses its battery. Okay, so now we have no GPS signal, no idea where we're at.
Yeah.
I dropped the anchor. We're 30 feet above. We're 30 feet of water below us. Spiders on us. We're going through the tops of trees, literally having to duck. The light that we have, the battery goes out in it. We have about 3% left on the old flip phone. And my cousin and I call his dad, and we said, can you please rush to the lake
and try to find us.
and we're going to start yelling, and you yell back.
Whoa. Yeah.
By the grace of the good Lord, the yelling worked. We heard him, and we were able to position and turn the boat back to where he was at.
Wow.
We finally got back. But we were lost, literally lost on Lake.
You were navigating by yelling.
Yes.
The sound.
Yeah. It's like the dolphins. We were chirping back and forth. It worked.
Man.
And we ended up getting all the way back. I mean, we were literally, you talk about someone being lost at sea. I mean, we were lost at Lake Georgetown.
Yeah, man.
For 2 hours, we had no idea where we were at. We were out there a total of probably 5 or 6 hours. Scary, man.
Good thing the sun was down because you would have been burned to death.
No, I mean, there was trees everywhere. But, it was more nerve-wracking as the night came on because we couldn't see hardly anything.
Right.
So that's the scary thought to wake up to in the morning.
Heck yeah.
Now, we take that stuff for granted, man. You got a phone with navigation and all that kind of stuff, and you just take it for granted, Ken. So, anyways, don't take it for granted. Be careful. Turn around, don't drown.
That's right. If you're being it, boy, that's interesting. I'd like to see. I wish I could have seen that.
Well, that's the end of the show. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, this day in 1969, I was 10 years old. You were not yet born. The Brady Bunch premiered on primetime TV.
The Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch.
Dun-dun-dun.
The Brady Bunch.
Dun-dun-dun.
That's how we became
the Brady Bunch. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Something like that. You look at that show now, and it's so corny. I mean, it was a good show back then, but you watch the acting now, it's like you watch the reruns of it. Like I've seen it just recently on. There's a station called Me TV, and they play all the old stuff, and I like it. It's pretty cool, but man, the Brady Bunch was really corny.
I think the Me TV, if you're on Air TV out of Waco, Channel 6, I think it's one of the HD channels.
I don't have
Channel
cable
6.
at the house, so that's what I got.
Is it on KCN 6 out of Temple?
I don't know. It just says Me TV.
Maybe it's 54 or something.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's right after like it's between Channel 7 and 24. It's like
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I put one of those antennas up in the attic. It's still there. A big HD antenna in the attic. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Ken, the noise you just heard was Ken popping his neck, by the way. Man, we got to remember the radio.
I've got a built-in chiropractor.
Yeah, the radio listeners, they don't know they can't see. So whenever you pop your neck, you went, we got to clarify for them. It was Ken popping his neck.
Yeah. Except it didn't pop. Let's see.
Still got some relief from it, honestly.
Yeah, I did. 1944. Michael Douglas.
What is that?
Michael Douglas was born. Michael Douglas was born on this day. For all you Michael Douglas fans, is what I can't read my own writing. For all you Michael Douglas fans, he was born. I think the most awesome show he played in was. Oh my goodness! What is that movie? It's awesome. It's about when he was married and that lady came into his life and she kept throwing. She was threatening him by doing different things.
The only movie I knew that he was in was The Falling Down or whatever, and that was like a depressing movie.
Yeah, but anyway, this lady, she they kind of had like a one night stand or something. Anyway, and she would not leave him alone.
I know. I kind of maybe I know what you're talking about. I'm looking it up here while you're chatting there. But the only one. It's funny. The only movie that I can recall. I'm not a big movie buff.
Me neither.
Do you ever?
Trivial Pursuit. I cannot play that game.
Goodness,
I'm terrible.
Yeah. The thing is, man, Ken. I'll be around people and they'll look at me like it's probably because I am, they look at me like I'm a complete moron. I'll be honest, I am a moron. When it comes to movies and music.
Me too.
People will say, you don't know what that is?
Yeah.
You've never heard of that?
Yeah.
Like Jennifer Hudson is on The Voice.
Yeah.
The name, I can think of the name, but
yeah,
I can't recall any one song. And I'm sure she's an amazing artist. And my life, I've never focused, and nothing on anybody who does, but I've never focused on movie names and movie people and musical song titles, and it's just not my flavor, man.
Yeah.
Some people like spice, some people like rice.
Yeah. Like I've been asked that through with musicians. You don't know what song he played or what hit he. I don't know.
You're the musician too.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know. I mean,
Fatal Attraction. That's
Fatal
the movie.
Attraction.
Yep.
That was a heck of a movie.
A Married Man. Here's the reading of it.
Yeah.
It earned a 6.9% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. You have to say it like,
yeah.
It earned a 6.9 rating on Rotten Tomatoes. A married man's one-night stand becomes back to haunt him when that lover begins to stalk him and his entire family tonight. Fatal Attraction on ABC Family. That's about what it is now.
That's right. No, but that was a really good movie. Whew. Glenn Close was the lady that he had the one night stand with. Boy, she was awesome in that movie too.
Boy, I gotta tell you.
And she was brutal. Every time I see her, like just on a normal show or something, you can't help but picture her as that person.
He was in a lot of movies, man.
Oh yeah,
look at this.
Yeah, Michael Douglas, lots of movies.
These are ranked from the times that he was in them. Summer Tree. Have you ever heard of that movie, Summer Tree? Are you kidding me? You've never heard of that movie?
Never.
I've never heard of it either.
Never.
See, that's the response I usually get.
Never.
Well, Ken,
Last Train to Clarksville by the Monkees was in 1966 was a first time big hit.
You didn't know that?
No.
That's
Not
going to be
till I read it.
It's going to be the joke now the rest of the day.
Last Train to Clarksville. That's a cool song. You ever heard that?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
You're supposed to respond to me. I never heard of that, Ken.
Well, you weren't born yet.
No, then you're supposed to say, "Are you kidding me? What's wrong with you?
Are you kidding me? Don't you ever heard of the Monkees?" So we had the Monkees, we had the Beach Boys, we had the group from England.
Oh, the Beatles.
Beatles.
Hey, I do know something.
See?
Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah. The Monkees, the Beach Boys, and the Beatles were all big hits. And, of course, Elvis was all mixed into that, too. Let's see. Mac Davis. Baby, don't you let's see. He had a big hit. Baby, don't you. Man, I tell you what. I got to quit doing this late at night.
And who was it? Mac
Davis.
I have no idea.
Baby, don't get hooked on me.
Baby, don't get hooked on me.
Yeah.
Bow.
1972.
Ooh, pretty good harmonizing there.
Yeah.
Not really.
1972. You
ever sing in church back in the day? I love singing in church. Man. And pulling out the old hymnals.
Yeah.
I know all nowadays we got the screens and all that, and that's all cool, but I still love opening up a song hymnal, seeing the notes on the scale.
Yeah.
The problem is the scale, that octave that's in between that, I can't ever hit that.
Yeah.
I'm either below it or way high.
Well, you're a baritone. Probably.
So there's no octave for me.
You're like me. I'm a baritone.
Yeah. So it's hard, when people are singing, and I'm trying to, a lot of the women that sing in church, they just sing beautifully.
Yeah.
And they'll start getting the vibrato going and all that, and I'm right next to them like, whoa, man. There was a lady when I was growing up, I was in the choir at Main Street Baptist here in Georgetown in high school. Absolutely loved it, Ken. Did it for a while. Really awesome song director, worship leader there named Kenneth Ussery. Before that, it was Donald McLaughlin. Then Kenneth Ussery came to the church. And both were tremendous men. I got respect for both of them. But I remember being in there, and Kenneth was so passionate about his gift in music. And so I went in there, and this was back when you still wore robes in a choir, which was awesome. I loved it, man. And I would be at the very top because I was pretty tall. Back in high school, I was about 120 pounds.
Yeah.
Everybody thought I was on something. I was like, no, Lord didn't bless me with a lot of meat on my bones. But I remember singing, and this lady was in front of me, and she turned around, she goes, I just love when you sing. And I said, oh, well, thank you, man. I was, she says, it makes my feet vibrate and massages them. Because it was the old metal riser.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, it was good times growing
up,
man. Actually, it wasn't metal riser. Was it metal? No, I think we had some, but it was the old wooden floor.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways. I know we're on wild
I
tangents.
can remember in the 6th grade, it was kind of warm where we were doing a Christmas show, and I was singing. I was at the top of the risers, and I started fainting. I nearly fell off the back of that thing, and they caught me. And I guess I grabbed on to the people next to me or something, but I nearly fell off the back of that thing.
When was this?
When I was in the 6th grade. I started fainting up there.
And where? In church?
No, it was at school. Yeah.
Well, we have some information coming in this morning, Ken. Nothing to alarm anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's a response to my question earlier. I'm trying to look here. Michael Francis sent in the message on Facebook Live, which, by the way, if you want to see what's going on up here during the show, if you would like, to figure out, hey, how can I listen to the show wherever I'm at? If you go to Facebook, search for Rob Hipp, or actually go to Good Morning Georgetown. If you go to our Good Morning Georgetown page, we always link the show up on there because we're live on the internet as well. But Michael Francis sending us some information here, and I was wrong. According to what he sent me, man, I cannot believe that. Michael, where did you find that information? If you could send me those answers are correct, but I said 5. I think there was maybe 4, so I was wrong, Ken. Michael Francis, the winner of the No Prize Trivia Challenge, other than the shout-out on the air. Thank you, Michael. Booty, here's the crossings. Booty, Box, Hunt, and Russell, also known as Jenkins Crossing. So there was 4 of them.
Okay.
So 4 crossings. I did that on purpose. I said 5.
4.
I did it on purpose to see if you were paying attention. And we appreciate you, Michael Francis. Michael, an awesome guy. He helps us out on SHN Sports with a lot of our broadcasting in the Leander community. Takes care of Rouse Baseball, broadcast it, but he's been helping out in Georgetown. So good morning, brother. And thanks for joining us.
I was thinking this time last year we were talking about Hurricane Harvey, all the stuff going on with all that stuff. Of course, they're still recovering from all that. The people out in Houston and Beaumont, Southeast Texas area. And don't forget about Port Aransas and all those. Really, boy, Corpus Christi was lucky. They kind of dodged a bullet on that one.
Well, that kind of talks about another event that's taking place, the Hell or High Water concerts.
That's right,
we'll have Joe Ellen on to talk about that here as soon as possible. Not today, but as soon as we can. And we may end up doing a special Facebook Live broadcast to go over that as well. But the Hell or High Water concerts, there's still a lot of folks in the coastal region that need help.
Yeah.
And Hell or High Water helped raise money last year for that, and they are continuing that tradition this year. It was an organization that started out of the kindness of people's hearts here in Georgetown, and it was a pretty awesome concert series. The 2nd annual Hell or High Water concert series taking place on October the 19th and the 20th. So we've still got some time to get Joe Ellen on here.
Is that October?
October 19th and 20th.
Okay.
So this is disaster relief concerts by Texas musicians. The Come or Hell Water. Let me read about this real quick. The Come Hell or High Water concerts were organized in the fall of 2017 in response to the massive destruction of Hurricane Harvey in South Texas. The event, the first one, of course, last year, over 20 local musicians, 4 different venues over 3 days, 100% of that money, $9,700, going to those impacted. Now, this is a 501c3 organization, and now they want to continue to do this annually. It's a group of volunteers, musicians, and business owners that came together. The motto, we're Texans, we survive, we thrive, we do it together, come hell or high water. I think it's awesome what they've got started. The schedule this year, Friday, October the 19th, to start with a happy hour on the square from 5 to 7, and then Roots Bistro from 7 to 11, and then Saturday at the Hardtail's Backyard from 2 p.m. to midnight.
Ooh,
so
that's a long day.
So
there.
instead of 3 days, it's going to be 2 days. I think that'll work out a lot better. And talking about a community that's generous and gives, I'm believing, friends, that as a community we can come together and we can definitely beat that 9,700 mark from last year.
I know a couple musicians that have moved here from Port Aransas area. What's that other town? That's they lost their whole high school down there. It's right on the coast.
Oh, Rockport?
Yeah, Rockport.
Rockport. Yeah, I've got family down in Rockport,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Yep.
Tough situation.
Yeah, I think Rockport lost their whole high school. 1950. I'm sorry.
You can just say 1950s.
1957, East Side Story was the original title of the Shakespeare-inspired musical conceived by Jerome Robbins. So that was
what was this again?
The West Side Story premiered.
I didn't know there was
a Broadway.
I thought you said East Side Story.
I probably did because I'm dyslexic.
Did you know there's a West Side Story.
If I read something, I'll do the opposite.
West Side, East Side Story. Do you read backwards?
I do.
So it's like,
awful. It's awful.
If you're going through the list here, hey, we'll go over this at the end here. But if you're going through the com.square Georgetown, the www at online out, this of all check to listeners are invite I. Oh, wait, sorry, I just read that backwards. Sorry about that.
That's why when I used to fly airplanes, the air traffic controller would tell me, Cessna, blah, 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 turn right, heading, and I turn left, heading. And I'm just kidding.
And then the fighter jets would scramble.
Yeah. Let's see, in 1820 in the Old West, Daniel Boone. Daniel Boone was a real man. He was not a fictional character. He died in Missouri, the state of Missouri. I like to say Missouri.
Some people say Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri. Like Louisiana. Some people say Louisiana.
Louisiana. What's the correct saying of it? What's the correct saying?
I don't know. I think if you're from Louisiana,
I always say Louisiana.
If you're from Louisiana, it's Louisiana.
Louisiana, not Louisiana.
Like you don't say New Orleans if you live there. If you're from New Orleans,
you say Nolans.
You say Nolans. That's
Where
right.
are you from? Nolans.
Nolans.
That's almost like a verb.
It is.
What are you doing today, Nolans? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Ken, Nolans. I like it, man. It's going to be the word of the day.
That was you ever listen to Jeff Foxworthy, his words like sensuous. Sensuous up, get me a beer.
Isn't there a song that's like, woman, sensuous woman?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
I don't understand music.
Yeah.
Huh.
But anyway, Daniel Boone died in Missouri on this day in 1820, a great pioneering frontiersman. Daniel Boone died quietly. That's nice. In his sleep. That's a good way to go. At his son's home near the present-day Defiance, Missouri. I guess there's a town called Defiance.
Does it sound like a town I'd want to live in?
Yeah.
Do not move here. Be defiant in Defiant, Missouri.
Yeah, it's kind of like Hope, Arkansas. There's no hope for Arkansas. No hope for Hope.
There's a town called Hell.
I'm sure there is.
It's some other country. I forget where it is. Because somebody goes, oh, I went to hell. So I wouldn't joke about that. And they're like, no, I really went to hell. And there was a sign standing in front of a town. And there was a picture of hell.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel Boone was born in 1734. So he lived to be 18 in 1820. That's a long time for back then.
When was this?
He was born in 1734, it says. So Daniel Boone lived a good life. He was 90, I'd say it looks like 90-something years old. But, man.
Daniel Boone from the Alamo?
No, I don't think he was in the Alamo.
He wasn't? No, he died in Missouri.
Yeah.
But there's a connection with him and Davy Crockett. And for some reason, I have no idea what that is. I just looked that up because for some reason, every time I thought of Davy Crockett, I thought of Daniel Boone. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because they both wore that hat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
the raccoon skin hat. I bet that's what it is.
Yep.
I was like, Daniel Boone was not at the Alamo.
Mm-hmm.
85 years old. That is a long.
That's pretty good for back then.
Hmm.
Most people didn't live that. So he must have lived a good life. He was a good man. Daniel Boone was. I tell you what.
See, I'm looking here in that. See, they're reading here. They're often confused to have both fought and died at the Alamo, but it's not. Again, I think it's because they both look similar with that hat. They were both trailblazers and outdoorsmen.
Okay.
I mean, isn't it? Sometimes Ken. And by the way, that town Hell, it's in Norway. Just wanted to get that out there. I have to. ADD's always on this morning. Ken, I wanted to stop and take a moment to think about just what it would have been like. You know, and our radio listeners out there as well, it's kind of fun to just think about this because we live in such a fast-paced world now, and everything is go, 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 go. And, you know, we've built the environment that we're in, or those that are before us also. And it's kind of weird to think about, you know, our world compared to a world from 50, 100, 200 years ago.
Yeah.
When you go back in the history books and you read about these guys, like a Davy Crockett or a Daniel Boone, they were known to be trailblazers, explorers. How cool is that to think if you could rewind a couple of 100 years ago, and that was your profession. Your profession was getting onto a horse and discovering new parts of the United States, blazing trails. I mean, just think about that, Ken. Think about the old Wild West when people, you know, got into fights and they took it out in the street.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, okay, you're done. Next.
Yeah, yeah.
Saloons. You know, when I go to Burger University here in Georgetown, I look at that building and I walk in and I just imagine, what was this like?
Me too.
You know, was Miss Kitty up there on the stage singing?
Yeah.
You know, it's just those kind of
like
it's pretty neat.
Well, like where my store is, people think it used to be a breezeway through there because the way the rock is, you know, it looked like it was in between two buildings where my store is right now. And I think about there might have been gunfights in that breezeway at one time. Wow. I know it used to be a saddle shop years ago. But if you go to Dairy Queen has all these pictures of downtown Georgetown.
Yeah.
If you see there's a picture taken from the north side of the square over toward where I'm at. There's a picture taken. It looked like it was a saddle shop back then or something, but there was something there, you know.
I think one of the most, and in fact, I would really enjoy a copy of it. So if anybody out there has it, remember, we're right next to Roots Bistro upstairs.
Yeah.
We would love to have a copy of this.
Yeah.
What I would really enjoy having a copy of is the Southwestern Homecoming photo with all of the Model Ts that are on that panoramic photo around the courthouse. I've always wanted that photo,
I think the Georgetown Barbershop has that hanging on their wall.
A lot of places do.
Yeah.
And I want it, man. I would love having that. Gene Lawhorn, who is a insurance agent here in Georgetown for Program Insurance Group, Doug Groves. Gene has that photo. You know, I get my insurance through their business, and I went in there the other day, and I said, man, this is cool. It's just neat. And you think about, you know, continuing on our wild tangent morning, because we don't really have any guests this morning, as we reminisce about history here on 106.7 Radio Georgetown. It's just neat to think about those things, Ken.
And I apologize for not having. I've got folks. In fact, we're gonna Rhonda that we had on here for the. Remember the we had her on for that school that they had. They educate kids. I forget what it's called, but they educate kids on history of the past that they don't really teach in schools nowadays. But she suggested that they're gonna have the flags again. What's that called?
The Field of Honor.
The Field of Honor, yeah.
Yes,
we'll have some guests on for that pretty soon too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's in November, right?
It's coming up. Yeah, and Steve, I'm a member of the Rotary Club that sponsors that. Yeah. They've got that going. David Kellerman and the fine group of people that have got that going. So we will definitely have to have them on here to talk about that. We had Ron Garland last year.
That's right, Ron Garland. That's right.
Were you able to get a flag last year, Ken?
I did.
Oh,
I sure did.
Hey, got some. Well, we don't talk politics here, but looks like we've got a. It's a debate watch party. Never mind. I was like, oh, cool. We're gonna have Ted Cruz and Beto here in Georgetown.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. It's just a watch party. I'm not going to talk about it. So, anyways, we don't want to get political. You know, every time. In fact, I made a comment yesterday on the other day on a friend's timeline of mine, and it was a comment more towards her, a nice comment, you know, an agreeance of something.
Yeah.
And it was nothing, you know, that's throwing a ball or casting anything at anybody. And I just said, I don't appreciate how vulgar this person is, you know, when they talk as a politician.
Right.
And immediately, and it was for her. I mean, she had posted something about her dissatisfaction, so I agreed with her.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as I did that, just boom, 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 boom. Like, who are you to say that? I was like, oh, my God. I just deleted it, man.
Right.
Because we live in a society now to where you say one thing that, and it doesn't matter. I'm not talking about what side you're on.
You're right.
I just don't understand why people can't have their own thoughts and opinions anymore without getting slammed.
Right.
And the funny thing is, Ken, a lot of this stuff, people would never talk that way in person to each other.
You were favoring what she said.
Yeah, it was something on her personal Facebook page. Yeah. And I just said, I kind of agree. I said, I don't really care for this guy dropping the F-bomb left and right.
Right.
And immediately just comment after comment after comment. Oh, well, you voted for this guy. Blah. I was like, oh, my gosh. I'm just going to delete it. And that's why I don't like getting into it, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, like I said, it's disheartening that we truly live in a society now to where if you don't agree with something that someone else does, you get slammed for it.
Yeah, right.
You know, and we got to get along. You know, that's why every broadcast, every single time, I always say we're not strong enough alone to make it our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody needs you. It's a phrase that's ingrained in my mind because it's the truth.
You're good at it.
Live it, man.
Yeah.
Live it.
Yeah.
Quit bashing each other.
Yeah.
It's okay to have differences. But just because you believe in something I don't believe or I believe something you don't believe doesn't mean that we got to throw rocks at each other.
Right.
And the sad thing is the internet has made it so easy for people to hide behind a keyboard that I guarantee 99% of what people say online, they would never say it into your face.
They wouldn't.
Never. And the only and the only way they would say it to your face is that they got together in a big group that all agreed with them.
Yeah.
I'm talking one-on-one. The way people talk, you pull that person out of that group, and I don't care what side you're on.
Oh, yeah.
You pull that person out of that group, and they wouldn't say it to your face.
No,
they may say it to your face if it's a whole mob of people.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, I don't even want to think about it, Ken.
Like last year, I commented on something. I thought I'd sent it to one person, but it went, you know, I guess it went to all the friends that I had. And, boy, I got slammed several times for something I said, but I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it the way they took it. So, yeah, I agree with you. It's like, man, you say one little thing. So I commented on something. I can't remember.
What did you just say, Ken?
I don't remember.
Do not ever talk that. No, it's just,
yeah.
You know, being in the IT field for almost 20 years and thankful for that opportunity. You know, I sold my business a month ago to a really nice guy and wish them the best. But just being in the industry for 20 years and the way my brain processes thoughts, which isn't very good, but it's, you know, it's just a lot of Swiss cheese up in my brain these days. But I see so many negative things in technology now that have enabled. There's a lot of positives, but in anything there's going to be negatives. But, man, it's created an outlet, social media especially. I try to use it for the good, but it's created an outlet for people to just spit fire in every direction. And I mean, you close your eyes and you imagine, literally, that's what it is.
Yeah.
The way people talk, the vulgarities, the bashing and trashing of people, they would never say that to that person's face one-on-one. Ever. Yeah. And so, man, just be mindful with what you're saying and what you're doing because, you know, that stuff will – in fact, I had a dream about it last night. It was so weird. I had a dream that I had said something like 30 years ago online. Yeah. It was just and it wasn't even anything really bad. But in my dream, I was thinking, oh, man, this is going to – 30 years later, this will – come up, and it did in my dream, and it was nothing bad. It was actually something good. Yeah. You know, it's like, oh, if I say this 30, and it's just like, think about it. The things that you see, you've got a permanent digital copy of your life. Yeah, exactly. So watch what you're saying, man. Be nice to people. Yep. Be nice. Be a Ken Covington. Nah. I'm gonna make a shirt that says "Be a Ken." What was that we were talking about the other day? We had Lisa on. I don't remember. I have no idea. It was something about making a shirt? No. KC. I forget what it was. KC, that's... Yeah, I remember we were talking about that last week. Maybe Lisa will remember. Was it something like Casey is crazy? Something like that. Yeah. I'm finally getting help in the store coming up pretty soon. He's a... Man. Yeah. I got him. Anyway, and here's another thing that happened on this day in history. This is something God just kind of like
laughs at,
Yeah.
Man finally did what we remember a few weeks ago. He discovered oxygen.
Wow.
Remember, we thought that was on this day in history.
Someone had to.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest.
But here's something that happened. The eighth planet in our universe was discovered, Neptune.
When was this?
1846.
Wow.
Neptune was discovered, the eighth planet. So,
hey, I love space. I wanted to say something here, Ken. We're kind of glancing through some local events and local things. A lot of this, the information that we get locally comes out of our great paper there, the Williamson County Sun. Looking through here from the paper that just came out, man, there's a picture here of Joey Mickle and his displaying the gold medal that he and his grandfather, Sun City resident Nelson at Stubblefield, won during the Special Olympics on September the 17th. I got to tell you, man, I saw this. Joey competes on the GISD Heroes team.
Mm-hmm.
He is such a wonderful young man.
Mm-hmm.
I cover Georgetown Eagle baseball, and Jared Fremel, who's
right.
a manager with the baseball team.
Yeah.
Both of those young men are extraordinary young men. If you ever get a chance to go to a Georgetown Eagle baseball game, you will see Jared there. He gets the crowd fired up.
Yeah.
And I think that is so neat. Part of the show that when we started this over a year ago, if you can believe that, Ken, was to highlight and talk about the good of Georgetown.
Yeah.
And when you see young men like Joey right there in the paper with his picture, it doesn't get much better than that. And so congratulations to Joey and his award and his gold medal that he won there at the Special Olympics. A good kid, man, and just awesome to see that. We had some folks in here from the Georgetown it was a Georgetown Animal Shelter here.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago. There's always pets that need a home, so you can always go to the Georgetown Animal Shelter. Check them out over on Walden Drive. Adoption fees are usually around $70, but that includes everything. You also get a free vet voucher and a bag of food. So, see, Ken, if I adopt you, I get a free
You get something.
Get a free colonoscopy voucher and a box of Malox. I'm just kidding, man.
Something like that.
But anyways, couple dogs there. A little puppy named April, ready for adoption, and a nice little kitty named Lil Guy. That's a good name for a cat. Come here, little guy.
Yeah. Hey, the Astros are 5.5 games ahead of the Athletics, who are in second place.
I wanted to mention this. Josh brought it up. They clinched the division last night.
Really?
They clinched.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh. I forgot to mention that,
I'm looking
man.
so forward to. Like I said, I don't have cable TV, so guess where I spent most of my nights watching baseball?
Where's
last
that?
year? The bowling alley.
There you go.
Yeah, and they've redone the whole bowling alley. I mean, well, you know where the sports bar used to be?
Mm-hmm.
They put a stage in there. In fact, Jody Berry and I will be playing there Friday night, just for information, FYI.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, they built a new stage, and any musicians out there wanting to play, I am helping them book entertainment there, by the way. So, anyway, yeah.
Well, as we go back and talk about the floodwaters that we had here, the San Gabriel River and the flooding, I did want to mention, Ken, as I was glancing through the articles and reading stuff before I came in today and then just kind of going back on it, the last time the river this high, Memorial Day of 2015.
Okay.
So it was a little recently. Blue Hole Park, that whole area was closed. But the good news is, because of the renovations that happened at Blue Hole years ago, they were able to reopen that thing really quick.
Right.
If you remember several years ago, before all the renovations, when that park flooded, I mean, it was gone for a long time.
Right. So
that's a good news that the Blue Hole is back up. Cleanup still ongoing. A lot of the trail system having debris. I was at the park. I usually, it's funny how some people have opinions about the park and the things that go on and what should go on down the park.
Yeah.
I'm in the park almost every day.
Yeah.
I've talked to people who have pretty solid mindsets about the park, but they go once a year.
Right.
Or twice a year to a 4th of July festival or something.
Right.
Down in the park every day, man.
Yeah.
I love it. almost every day.
It's peaceful.
I go I'll be honest, I go about 5 days a week. I frequently have lunch down there. There's a guy that juggles.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see the people that come in and out of that park.
Yeah.
And what I was getting at is I went down there yesterday to have lunch and parked down there just for a minute. And, man, there's debris everywhere.
Yeah.
And you could see how high the water got.
Yeah.
And God bless those city crews, man. Those guys that work for the city. I have a lot of respect for city employees that work for the city doing the hard labor because my grandfather did it for years.
Right.
He retired from the city.
Yeah.
In fact, they gave him a little awesome pocket watch as a retirement gift. My grandma has it. And those guys were down there busting tail trying to get that park cleaned up.
Right.
And I'm not talking about the renovations going on. I'm talking about guys
down.
Yeah. You're in the middle of renovating, and now you're trying to clean up.
Yeah.
In the middle
they had big dumpsters full of wood, stumps and all kinds of stuff.
Well, the river got as high 24 feet.
Yeah.
Flood stage is at 9 feet, so that just gives you an idea. If you're talking about a river that's at 24 feet and your flood stage is at 9, you're 15 feet over flood stage. I did want to mention, too, though, that there were some RV parks in the area also.
I was thinking about that.
Shady River RV.
Yeah.
That over off Highway 29 is 3 miles east of the high. They're all, every time something happens, man.
Yeah.
We can't forget about this, friends. 25 families displaced after that. They needed to be pulled out of there. The Wilco EMS building was being used as a temporary shelter for the RV park. And so don't forget about our friends out there when that stuff happens. Some of those RVs got washed away. Two of the trailers remain at the county's emergency management shelter. They got pulled out, and they have no idea who they belong to.
Yeah.
Somebody also left a yellow Corvette behind the flooded RV park. So, don't forget about our friends out there. If just because your house didn't flood doesn't mean that others. Big event coming up here. City Council members preparing for the annual night out. I love that, man. The neighbor night out, national night out. Have you ever participated in that, Ken?
Just on Halloween.
I'll tell you one of the best, and I'm not saying it, being biased because I date Bridget, my beautiful girlfriend. Her mother's the director of the housing authority here in Georgetown. But that is my favorite night out that I go to every year is over at the Georgetown Housing Authority. Yeah. Oh, they're some of the most tremendous people you'll meet. They put together a huge potluck. They have games for the kids. So if your neighborhood or you don't have anywhere to go, I'm going to encourage you to go over to Georgetown Housing Authority downtown and over off Hart Street and go down there and hang out with those folks and just love on them and hang out with them and get to meet many new friends. Yeah. Because I'll tell you, I've been down there 3 years now in a row, and I've met nothing but tremendous people down there at the Georgetown Housing Authority. So that event taking place, block party, 6:30 p.m. Tuesday, October the 7th. So again, or October the 2nd, beg your pardon. So again, make sure you get out there Tuesday, October the 2nd. I did want to talk, too, that there is a roundtable going on. This is very important because it's part of the Georgetown's 2030 comprehensive plan, which is being updated. A lot of the feedback that I was getting, without giving my personal opinion on it, regarding the facilities down in San Gabriel Park, specifically the Rodeo Arena and Show Barn, a lot of what I was getting is that a survey was sent out and a robust public input.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say is it, in my opinion, wasn't very robust. And so now if you want to really help give city leaders an idea about what's happening here in Georgetown, make sure that and that's why I'm being vocal about this on the air, because I want people to know and help get the word out. The 2030 comprehensive plan is getting community feedback from what should shape Georgetown in the future of this community.
Right.
So you have got to be involved in it. I'm going to say it right here. You have got to be involved. Now, I was told, because I don't live in the city limits, I don't have a voice in the community. But I'm still going to find a way to be involved.
Yeah.
I was born and raised here, had a business here. So, if you live here, you have a voice.
Heck yeah.
And so I want you to know that get involved. The 2030 comprehensive plan, very important that you get involved in that. and you help shape the direction of this wonderful community that we live in, because we do. We are truly blessed. As the mayor always said, this is the greatest city on planet Earth. I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
And so get involved, talk, and help our city leaders guide them in the right direction. And it's going to take numbers of people. So if you don't go, you can't complain.
Right. That's true.
So it's just people, if you don't vote, you can't.
That's right.
I do agree with that. If you don't voice, you don't have a voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I just say if you don't voice, you don't have a voice? If you don't vote, you don't have a voice. And it's kind of true, man. So that's my only political spill I'll ever get on here. Yeah. So get involved with that. It's a 2030 plan. It'll be a roadmap to guide the city's growth. And so you definitely want to get involved with that. If for more information, visit 2030.georgetown.org. That's 2030.georgetown.org. Get involved and help shape the future of what is going on here in Georgetown. So, Ken, a lot of other great events taking place in Georgetown. I wanted to mention one. In fact, I'll let you mention this, Ken, right there on the top of the list. It's we had Lisa talking about it.
That's right. The 11th Annual Wine and Music Fest will be this Saturday. I think there is a little bit more of a chance of rain. I hate to say that, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be a pretty nice day. Let's see. Starts at noon, wraps up at 8 p.m. Is it okay to say how much the tickets are?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, $25 online. They're $35 if you just show up at the gate, I guess you might say.
Show up at the gate.
Show up at the gate or the table. The table where you buy your wristband, and then you get to sample all the wine, and I think there's a couple of beers that's coming. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So. Yep, and I'll be. I got 2 free tickets to the hockey game. Some guy came in and gave me the schedules.
Nice.
So anybody want to go to the hockey game? I'm gonna try to go. It starts at 6. So if you want 2 free tickets to the preseason hockey game, I've got 2 tickets.
Wait a minute. Now are you going?
I'd like to go, but then the wine and music fest, I have to be open.
Okay.
But I might try to go, but check with me at Ken's Guitars. Ken at Ken's Guitars, and I have 2 tickets. So if you want to go, I'm not gonna
go.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I want somebody to go.
Well, there's going to be a lot of at this wine event, the wine and music fest. Did you know this is the 11th annual one?
Yeah, I said that. You missed it.
I haven't been to one.
I have been to a lot of them because I'm right there.
Let's talk about this real quick. 16 wineries and 1 brewery involved. 3 Texans Vineyard, Bending Branch Winery, Blessed Bee Winery. How many know the bees got to be blessed? Flat Creek Estates. The creeks weren't flat this weekend with all the rain. We're just going to make a comment about every one of these.
Yeah.
Georgetown Winery. Oh, you know Georgetown. No, I'm just Grape Creek Vineyards. K-Fire Winery and Vineyard. Kissing Tree Vineyard. Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah.
If you wanna kiss me.
That's
kiss
kind of
a
weird way to anyway.
Yeah, baby. Landon Winery. Pillar Bluff Vineyard. Red Road. Forget about the yellow brick. Red Road Vineyard. Shade Tree Wine Bistro, Texas Legato. The Vineyard of Florence. Thirsty Mule Winery, Watson. Do you remember that movie Coming to America?
Yeah.
It wasn't it something like Mr. Randy Watson. Wasn't that it, man?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. That's awesome. And breweries, 1 brewery there, San Gabriel River Brewery. A lot of sponsors making this happen. Hillstone at Wolf Ranch, BB's Home Cooking, Diva Chicks, Georgetown Plastic Surgery, Noviton Med Spa, Wolf Ranch Dental Group. A lot of support also from Shot of Texas, All Things Kids, Boomtown Escapes, Brazos Valley Cheese, Chris Vaughn Fusion, City of Georgetown, Cutco Divine Treasures, Frankie G, Radio Georgetown, 106.7 FM, KGTNLP Georgetown. Hello, Georgetown. Ken's Guitars. My Sofield Bistro. Redbird Designs, Ron Parks Photography, and the Williamson County Sun newspaper. A lot of music lined up for this event. I'm not going to read all of this, but I will say the names Local talent with Micah Marcos. Do you know Micah?
I think I've met him.
Born and raised in Austin. High energy, really good musician. Jennifer B. in the Groove.
Yeah.
Do you know these guys?
No.
It's a 4-piece band playing a... You don't know them?
I don't.
4-piece band. A lot of stuff there that they do.
Don't.
The Peterson Brothers and the Mike Hamilton Group. So a lot of great local artists going to be out rocking the Square. The best the Square has to offer, the merchants and restaurants. So very excited about this festival coming up right here.
That's right.
In the heart of Georgetown.
That's right. Let's see. American League, we're back to baseball. Red Sox are in first place. They're 9 games against the poor Yankees. The poor Yankees are 9 games behind. I feel so sorry for them. Not. Red Sox are in first place. There's Cleveland Indians. You ever see that movie, The Cleveland Indians? They couldn't win a game to save their lives, and what was it called, Major League or something like that?
Yeah, we're just random guys, wasn't it? Join the team.
Yeah, they were pulling people. They were pulling drunks off the streets. No, I'm just kidding. But they're 15 and a half games ahead of the Twins. So it's like, man, the Indians are kicking bottom too. The Astros are 5.5 games in front of the Athletics. The Braves are back in it this year, folks. Man, I used to be my brother used to live in Atlanta, so I became kind of a Braves fan when Smoltz and all those guys was pitching.
Yeah, the late '90s Braves were rocking and rolling. Man,
they couldn't lose. The they're 9.5 games in front of the Nationals, who was in second place. The Cubs are back in it this year. They're only a half game ahead of the Brewers. That's pretty close.
Are they leading their division?
Yes.
Wow, that's good
Cubs,
news.
Yeah,
so the Cubbies.
And then the Dodgers only a half game above in front of the Rockies too. So I'd like to see the Rockies get in there. So go Rockies! Come on, win some games and get the Dodgers the heck out of there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's kind of exciting though. It's at least the Astros are. I'm excited. I did not know they clinched the division yesterday, but that's good.
And other news: the Round Rock Express.
Yeah.
Now affiliated again with the Houston Astros. So the Sanders family wanting to keep that with Texas. There's no point of having a minor league team with some other in a state as big as Texas.
Yeah.
In a state I'm going to make up a song. In a state as big as Texas, in the heart of a bucket of gold. I just made that up. Did you like it?
If you're going to stay in Texas.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was singing it too.
If you're going to stay in Texas, you better keep no, I can't.
You better keep the Express here, man.
Oh, there you go. Good.
Because no other state can do what the big old Texas can. Come on, Ken.
I have a verse that I do for the House of the Rising Sun, and I do it just to see if people are listening. The last verse, I'll go, there is a mouse in my house. And I did this at Gumbo's Monday night. And most people are chit-chatting. So there is a mouse in my house. He stole some of my cheese. And da-da-da, he didn't even ask me, please.
And no one
in my house.
Did anybody what?
Most people, I do it in my store, and people start laughing, But I do it at Gumbo's, and a lot of people, they didn't even hear what I was saying.
See, I used to have my coaches' shows when we first started, or we used to do a podcast when we first started SHN 4 years ago. And we would talk to a lot of really awesome guests. And I had Dave Campbell. Yeah. Dave Campbell from Dave Campbell, Texas Football, the legend of information regarding high school football in the state. Had him call in to our podcast. Everybody was chatting. Nobody listened.
Really?
Because they didn't, I tried to say, hey. Yeah. So, it's just. When you're in a restaurant setting, no offense to it. We got a great I love a lot of our restaurants. They're awesome. But, people are kind of in their own discussions and their own thing.
Right.
Usually they don't get into the music probably until about 11 o'clock after the drinks start hitting the bloodline, right?
We played at a private birthday party out in Sun City Saturday night, and there was over 100 people there, and Jody did that Sweet Caroline song. Boy, that woke everybody up.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Ken, 9 a.m., I'll send it to you for a final few thoughts here on 106.7 FM, KGTNLP, Georgetown, Radio, Georgetown. Radio, Georgetown.
Radio, that's a weird word, radio.
Radio.
It's a cool word,
Ray, I'm going to name my dog Ray Dio.
There you go.
Ray Dio. I'm going to name my son Ray Dio.
There you go.
Kind of
all right. Well, folks, our weather for Wednesday, September the 26th. October is knocking on our door. Yes, it is.
Knocking
Monday will be October 1st. I like October. It's kind of like one of my favorite months. I wasn't born in that month, but I like it. Wednesday, September 26th, cool front will be approaching our way. Possible scattered storms throughout the day. Winds will be out of west, southwest, about 10 to 20 miles per hour. But a cool front is coming through here around noon to 1 o'clock. And winds are going to shift out of the north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And it's still going to be a high of 80. Of course, that high of 82 could actually be going on right now, for all we know. Low of 61, so it's going to be a little bit chilly in the morning when you wake up here in beautiful Georgetown, Texas. A low of 61.
Well, Ken, it's always fun here on the morning show. Quick shout out to the Art Center here in Georgetown, celebrating 5 years. In fact, I hate to say it, I have not been over there. I'm going to have to go by and check it out. Congratulations for the Art Center for being here for 5 years. Also, a special shout out to our good friend Donnie Boyd, who we had on this program with the Prayer Collective talking about the fine work that he is doing for the homeless here in Georgetown. He also made the paper on the latest edition, and he is wanting to get folks involved, starting his 501c3 nonprofit, the Prayer Collective, trying to get folks involved to help the homeless here in Georgetown. Donnie doing some great work. A lot of local folks getting involved, providing breakfast. Main Street Baptist providing showers. As we talked to Donnie, just folks who don't even have a place to take a shower, that is one of the greatest things that they can do. So don't forget about the Wine Festival this weekend. Go out, have fun, but be safe. Get a Lyft or an Uber. Don't drink and drive. Ken, final thoughts before we sign off?
I think I'm done, Rob. I think I'm done. I gave the weather. You know the weather, folks. So whether or not you wear a little,
whether or not
you wear a sweater or jacket in the morning is not my fault. If you forget.
Well, once again, thanks for joining us, friends, here on 106.7 FM KGTNLP Radio Georgetown. Rob Hipp with Ken Covington. As always, a special thank you to our presenting sponsor, the Oak Ridge Disciple House, a nonprofit 501c3 faith-based Christian character building ministry helping men 18 or older who are suffering from drug and alcohol abuse. If you or someone you know needs help, give our good friends at Oak Ridge a call. You can visit them online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Also presented by Ricky Poe with Georgetown Jewelry, located in the Williamsburg Village Shopping Center. Thank you for your generous support of this program. Also, everything that goes on here at Radio Georgetown. Remember, friends, as I always say, we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there today needs you. Until next time, Rob Hipp, Ken Covington. Ken, thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Good to be here.
We will see you next Wednesday. By the way, I reached out to Chief Nero. We're getting some dates knocked down. Going to be excited to have the Chief here on the radio program. We'll have Joe Ellen Lyons on as well to talk about the Come Hell or High Water concerts.
Okay. Cool.
Till then, friends, have a wonderful day. Stay warm. Stay dry. Just be you. Be nice. Love you guys. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for joining us.